Chapter 8, The Magpie's Lair. Hopefully you're all having a great day. You want me to come with you to visit the Magpie? Does this mean you're actually letting me help you break the curse? As you sit up in bed, Kieran scowls and nervously starts rifling through your wardrobe. I only need you there to help sell our cover story. Were I to go alone, it would raise her suspicions. She would think I'm trying to hide something. I suppose the ruler of all Fae showing up without any accompaniment would seem a bit odd. He emerges from the wardrobe and throws your usual clothing on the bed. You suddenly realize you're still in your undergarments. I should stretch out. Raising your arms above your head, you stretch out the lines of your stomach, growing taut as you arch your back. It is a long... He stops abruptly, and you peek up to see his dark eyes roving down your body, taking in every inch of your bare skin. When he finally meets your gaze, the intensity catches you off guard, and you feel yourself flush every part of you suddenly too on. Sorry, didn't mean to distract you. His eyes flare, dangerous and alluring, before he scowls again and turns away. We need to hurry. We can discuss the particulars on the carriage ride to Magpie's home. But what if she asks why you've come? What reason would you have for wanting to trade with her? I'll merely tell her that I have learned of a rare artifact in a collection that I wish to possess. Now quickly dress and meet me downstairs. He leaves without another word. You slip out of bed, picking up the clothing he left out for you. Kieran's story seems awfully thin. I know he can't lie, but there must be a better way to fool the Magpie. You glance at the open wardrobe and where a polished piece of metal and colored glass catches your eye, glistening fabric draped alongside of it. What is that? You slip into the outfit, jeweled strands tinkling softly as they settle across your body. You approach the mirror, taken aback by your own reflection. I look as grand and fashionable as any fae of the court. If I were to wear this, I could pass myself off as a noble and help sell Kieran's story to the Magpie. As you see yourself transformed in the mirror, an idea suddenly strikes. I could even pretend to be Kieran's betrothed, and we could tell Magpie he wants the heart piece as an engagement gift. Diamond choice. The royal treatment. Looks very pretty. Very nice. You marvel at how the garments sparkle. Even in the dim room, staring at your face in the mirror, it almost seems as if you're glistening too. I actually look like a real fae. I wonder if this outfit is enchanted at all. Wait until Kieran sees me like this. You descend the stairs carrying yourself like royalty. He paces in the gardens in front of a silver carriage with 4 jet-black horses. He stops short, dark eyes widening slightly as he watches your every step with a heated intensity. Do you not recognize me, your betrothed, my prince? Ella, He's speechless for a moment as he takes you in, and then he gives himself a shake and the scowl returns. What are you up to? What is this? I thought of a better story to sell the Magpie. I'll pretend to be a Fae noble who's just been betrothed to you, and we'll tell the Magpie that you're seeking an engagement gift for me. That does sound more convincing. But you forget that I cannot lie. I didn't forget. You don't have to lie. Surely you have plenty of practice with dancing around the truth. You're learning the ways of the Fae courts very quickly, aren't you? Admit it, it's a good idea. You're just mad you didn't think of it first. It is better. He gives you a sidelong glance as you come up beside him and link your arm through his. We should get into character. His voice is low in your ear. Very well, the charade may commence. Just make sure to convince her of your undying love for me, beloved. You feel your heartbeat speed up as he hands you into the carriage. He sits across from you and closes the door. Wait, if we're both in here, then who's driving? He gives you an amused look and then calls out over his shoulder. To the home of the Magpie. The carriage rumbles as the driverless horse starts down the road on their own accord. You peek through the curtains, watching the Fae woods pass in a blur. Speed is of the essence today. The Magpie is reclusive, lives a fair distance away, and we must be there and home again before moonrise. As the carriage speeds onward, nervousness grows in the pit of your stomach, and you finger the charm around your neck. This won't make her suspicious, will it? I mean, doesn't make it look obvious that I'm not really a courtier? What if she's heard about me from the Sun Court? The Magpie doesn't frequent the courts, nor does she engage in with her gossip. Besides, she'll be too distracted by what we've brought to care about such a plain necklace. His eyes travel over you again, more slowly this time. You look every part of the courtier to me. Remember, whatever you do, she must not learn about the heart piece and what it truly is, if she were to use it against me. He trails off, hands curling into tight fists. Kieran, what would happen if she found out? What would she do to you? The Night Prince turns a hard, penetrating stare at you. And why would you be so interested in such things? Because I want to protect you. He arches one slender brow. He leans in close, making your heart stutter. My prince? Silent, his eyes search yours for a long moment, his breath brushing against your lips. I do not need your protection. Can you at least tell me what to expect from the Magpie, then? She is a powerful old fae with a vast collection of rare oddities. Her treasures are priceless and her greed is legendary. Legend says she was not always that way, that she was once an esteemed member of the courts. What happened to her? He shrugs. It was long before my time. Supposedly the head of the Sun Court grew displeased and struck her with some enchantment. I thought Fey law prevented you from attacking each other. The barest hint of a rueful smile twitches the corner of his mouth. Only if you cannot prove that they wronged you first. Diamond choice. Collect the Magpie. The Magpie. Many centuries ago, the Fae who would be known as the Magpie was a noble in the Sun Court. In her youth, she was accustomed to having the best of everything. Spoiled, vain, she resented any who dared to outshine her. When she came of age and began the life at the court, Magpie quickly became jealous of the Sun Court's High Princess, who was also the ruler of all Fae. The Magpie loved the sparkle of jewels and the fine embroidery, but her own riches suddenly seemed like cheap trinkets compared to those of the princess. The thievery started small. A ruby ring here, a diamond hairpin there. She has so many, she will not miss another, the Magpie told herself again and again. But in time, the High Princess grew suspicious. Laws of propriety forbade her from outright accusing a member of her court without evidence, and so she set a trap. The princess had a dazzling brooch, suddenly secretly enchanted, and left it unattended on her vanity the night of the grand ball. The Magpie slipped into the High Princess's room while everyone else danced below. Unable to resist the intricate, dazzling beauty of the brooch, she snatched it up and hurried away before anyone could notice her absence. She returned to the ball, brooch hidden safely in her pocket, smug in the belief that she had once again gotten away with her crime. But the brooch, sensing that it held by someone other than its mistress, came alive within her pocket. The Magpie shrieked as gilded hooks and small pointed stones sank into her leg-like teeth. The whole ballroom turned to watch as she slapped and tore at her clothing, trying to dislodge whatever was attacking her. After a few frantic moments, she managed to extricate the brooch from her pocket and throw it to the ground, where it sparkled innocently for all to see. The evidence was undeniable. Outed before the entire court as a thief, the Magpie had no choice but to await judgment. Since you were unable to control your greed, the High Princess pronounced, then I decree that it shall never be sated. You shall know no peace, no contentment, for as long as you live, avarice shall be your only companion. Magpie was banished from court, cursed to endlessly seek rare and beautiful treasures. Centuries passed, and the once fair Fey courtier became a twisted and hollow creature, her very flesh warped to reflect the hungry, hateful soul within. And the more she collects, the more her hunger grows. Interesting story. The Magpie. He scowls at the floor, arms crossed, and you make the remainder of the journey in silence. As the carriage finally slows to a stop, you peer out the window at a sprawling mansion of the Magpie, imposing, grand, and very old. You're here. You take a deep breath, steadying yourself, and follow Kieran out the door. He leads you to the Magpie's door, where you're promptly greeted and ushered into the parlor by a liveried servant. A guard stands nearby, watching from behind a metal helmet.
Wait here. The mistress will be with you shortly.
Haven't seen you guys since Crown of the Flame. You barely had time to glance around at the beauty of the room before the door opens again, and you get your first glimpse of the Magpie. Yep, very fitting. My Prince Kieran. What a pleasant surprise. Bird-like eyes flit you with suspicious appraisal. The deep red of her iris is enough to make you shudder. And who, pray tell, are you? Kieran takes you by the hand and presents you to the Magpie. You affect a magnanimous smile. It is a pleasure to meet you. I'm Ella, the princess's newly betrothed. The Magpie's eyes go large as saucers as she takes you in, growing greedier at every detail of your exquisite clothes. My, what a delight. Prince Kieran, felicitations on your coming marriage. Thank you. The Magpie arranges herself on the settee as one of the guards pours her a cup of tea from the porcelain set on the coffee table. I must admit, I was rather intrigued by your note yesterday. You have something to offer me, do you? We do indeed. She gestures for both of you to sit. Kieran relaxes against the velvet cushion. I'm gonna sit on his lap. You casually drape yourself across his thighs, anchoring yourself with an arm across his shoulders. He gives you a worried glance, and you smile. My dear, do you remember we are in polite company? You nuzzle against the warm side of his neck, rustling the fine hairs with your breaths. Apologies, my lord, I simply can't resist. His telling look lingers on you a moment longer, and he refocuses on your host. The Magpie watches your little exchange with intrigue. Go on, my prince. You feel Kieran fidget ever so slightly beneath you, and with some satisfaction realize that your teasing is having an effect. I'm looking for something quite special, you see. None have a finer collection of priceless treasures than the Magpie. The Magpie preens somewhat under the praise, eyes glittering. Isn't that right, Ella? Kieran subtly pokes your side. Oh, yes, Kieran wishes to spoil me. You trace your fingertips down his cheek lovingly and place a chaste kiss on his temple. A muscle tenses in his jaw, but it's only a reaction he gives. Isn't that simply the sweetest, nothing less than the best for his beloved, he says. Beneath this dour exterior, my Kieran is a true romantic. He grasps your chin between his fingers, turning you to meet the sudden blaze of fire in his gaze. You inhale sharply, caught off guard. Ella deserves nothing less than the finest jewels in all the world for putting up with such a beast. If I had my way, she would wear nothing but jewels, discarding them only when she warms my bed. For a moment, you're speechless, locked in his eyes, and struck by the knowledge that he can only speak the truth. He can't truly mean that, can he? Why are you questioning it? His hands drift to your side, subtly stroking the side of your breast. With a single fingertip, you flush hot from head to toe. The Magpie smiles a little felicitous, watching your exchange. It seems the Night Prince's frigid reputation has been somewhat exaggerated. Not at all. Ella simply has a knack for fanning what little sparks I have into flame. How very lovely. I have a few items that may interest you. Well, my love, shall we take a look at what she has to offer? Reckless and off-kilter, it takes you a moment to regain your composure. Yes, if you please. Without delay. Kieran smiles warmly at the Magpie and slides his palm down your thigh to squeeze just above your knee. You hold back a startled yelp. No rush at all. Magpie looks at Kieran, folding her hands together. Prince Kieran, you know that I am not in a habit of simply giving anything away. I'm well aware. Well, before I can consent to this trade, I must see what you have brought. Show it to me now. Kieran produces a silver box decorated with cavorting foxes from his pocket, opening it to reveal the treasure inside. It was gifted to my grandmother by one of her suitors. The deep blue stones sparkle in the reflection of the Magpie's greedy eyes. Yes, very beautiful, but I have many beautiful things here. She doesn't like the necklace. Or, well, she likes it, but she doesn't need it. Not yet. It will enhance your own beauty as well. It's enchanted to make the wearer appear even more beautiful. I see, how very charming. The Magpie gives a decisive nod. Very well, your offer is acceptable. Now let me show you what I'm willing to trade. She snaps her fingers, and her guard returns carrying 3 ornate boxes. Here you are, mistress. The guard lays out the items on display and bows out of the room. Well, Kieran shoots you a meaningful look. We got the gold beetle, a fossilized fang, and a crystal apple. I'm gonna go with the crystallized apple. A smooth red stone carved like an apple with a golden stem lays on a regal pillow. A souvenir from a royal family I met on my travels. Did you go to Cordonia? Oh, I just had to. Kieran feigns some momentary interest in the items, but you can tell that his frown and are none to their heart piece. My love. What is it? These are enchanting, to be sure, but none of them exactly scream, "You have my heart for all time," do they? Magpie. Of what rarities, which you do not keep on display. I have heard tell of a gem like no other. One red as blood that glows with an inner light. Very specific. Taking your cue, you feign a delighted gasp. Oh, that sounds perfect. I thought the very same, my love. I hoped, if anyone knew where to find such an exquisite item, it would be our esteemed host. Even as you carry on the act, something about Kieran's description tugs at your memory. A red gem glowing with an inner light. Could it be? The Magpie delicately lifts her teacup and takes a long sip before answering. As it happens, I do have such a gem in my collection, and I have no wish to part with it. A flash of irritation passes so quickly over his face that you almost miss it. This isn't going well. I'll act indifferent. A simple gem hardly seems worth the fuss, even one that glows. I know of 100 artifacts within the Moon's Palace Vault that are more rare. It is no mere jewel. Your mouth catches. Beside you, Kieran stiffens, though his face remains studiously neutral. Is it so? I know not its true power or nature, but the gem has power. When I look upon its light, it dances. It seems almost alive. The Magpie's gaze loses focus. Her eyes shimmer with such covetous hunger you have to suppress a shiver. Surely we can come to an agreement, Magpie. The Magpie's head snaps sharply towards Kieran, her teeth clicking together angrily. The gem is mine. You will choose something else or leave. She gestures to one of her guards, who comes forward to pour more tea. The room goes quiet with tension, until a sudden clatter. The guard fumbles with a teapot in armored hands. The teapot shatters on the ground, her table, hot tea splattering in every direction. Idiots, get out of my sight! Of course, mistress. Sorry, mistress. The guard scurries away, and the Magpie curses as she blots at her front with a silk napkin. Useless, I can't even perform a simple task. That pot was an antique. If you'll excuse me for saying, serving tea hardly seems like a usual task for one so armored. Many of my staff were injured. During a recent incident, half of the servants are busy tending to the wounded. Magpie reaches for a bell to summon another servant, and a sudden idea sparks in your mind. Well, no need to strain your busy staff, then I'd gladly fetch more tea if you would direct me to the kitchen. She waves her hand dismissively, still focused on her soiled clothing. That's because appearance is all that matters. Oh, to the left at the end of the hall. Tell the cook to fetch you the metal pot this time. Casting Kieran a significant look, you quickly duck out of the room. You hurry down the corridor as quickly and quietly as you can, only spot one of the Magpie guards standing beside an imposing door, holding a giant, wickedly sharp halberd.
Halt! State your business!
Hello, I'm looking for the Magpie's vault.
No one enters the vault!
I haven't seen you since Crown in the Flame either. Faye cannot lie, so they probably wouldn't expect me to. You lift your nose in the air and glare at the guard, haughty arrogance of a Fae courtier. I cannot believe the stunning lack of hospitality shown in the Night Prince's own betrothed. The guard hesitates, shifting his weight uneasily.
Betrothed?
You pitch your voice indignantly, trying to mimic the spoiled rich folk you've met at the winter fair. I'm engaged to the ruler of all Fae, and you treat me like a commoner. If you must know, the Magpie has given me her permission. She herself has asked me to fetch her something from within the vault.
She has?
Indeed, she has given me free rein to choose what I'd like as an engagement present. The guard hesitates and you stomp your foot in impatient indignation. Do you wish to make an enemy of the night, Prince? Well, if the mistress has truly allowed it, you may enter. You slip into the vault, momentarily stunned by the thousands of strange and beautiful objects that fill the towering space. Welcome to Hogwarts. Quit gawking, Ella, you have a job to do. Buoyed by the rush of adrenaline, you hurry past the rows of obsessively organized shelves, each labeled in delicate, spidery calligraphy, until... there. A glowing red gem calls you from a shelf in the very back of the vault. You slow as the gem comes to a clearer view and then freeze in shock. Piece of Kieran's heart. It looks just like the gem from the well. You touch your chest nervously, remembering how the gem sunk into your body when you touched it, how it disappeared. Is that what happened that night? Do I carry a piece of the prince's heart in my chest? Suddenly afraid, you wrap the heart piece in a handkerchief without touching it, and then carefully slip it into your pocket. No time to worry about that now. I have to leave before I'm caught. You make sure your prize is well hidden. You escape the vault and hurry off to fetch the tea. A short while later, Kieran slams the carriage door closed and barks an order to the horses. Home. The carriage jolts forward as you speed away from the Magpie's house. Damn it to every hell. No matter what I did, the stubborn witch refused to deal. Kieran... You start to speak, but he interrupts. While you were away, the Magpie grew suspicious of my interest in the red gems, and asked why I wanted it so badly. I had to trade her for that useless fang to get her off my back. Why not the beetle, or the apple, or, you know... He tosses the box containing the fang carelessly onto the bench. His eyes dart to you suspiciously. Why did you run off so abruptly? Well, I went to retrieve this. You remove the cloth-wrapped bundle from your pocket and carefully open the handkerchief to let the gem's light fill the carriage. You stole it? No, I borrowed it. Technically. Of course. Anything for you. I told you I would help you break the curse. You've lived too long without a heart. His eyes flit to yours, and you can tell for a moment he's genuinely surprised and touched. What did you think? I didn't mean it? I believe your intent, less so your ability to follow through. I see now that I was mistaken. You put yourself at great risk for this. And I would do it again. His eyes shine in the red glow, wonderment mingled with disbelief. How did you manage this? The guards... It turns out that some Fae are not so practiced at detecting falsehood. Lying and stealing on the same day. You're turning into quite the degenerate. I'll be the bane of the Fae courts. So, what happens now? How do you reclaim a piece of your heart? He holds the gem gingerly, bringing it to close to his chest. It does not take much convincing. As you watch, the gem dissolves into a cloud of red mist, hovering just above the place where his heart should be, and you struggle not to gasp. Pretty. Just like what happened to me. The glowing mist slowly sinks into his chest in a way that's all too familiar. He exhales slowly and shuddering. All this time I've carried a piece of Kieran's heart inside me, and I have to tell him. But as you make up your mind, he suddenly slumps forward, his breathing ragged. What's the matter? Are you alright? He sits up, looking stunned, and then grins at you. I'm quite a bit more than alright. His skin is aglow with soft warmth, a sly sparkle in his eyes that is entirely unlike him. Ella, you wonderful, brilliant creature. He breaks into a joyous laughter, an utterly infectious sound you've never heard before, and abruptly he pulls you into a warm embrace. What's happening? It's called a hug. It's okay. I'ma hug you. You succeeded where even I had failed. I was wrong, so very wrong to doubt your cleverness. You return the embrace, joy lightening your heart. I'm so happy I could help. His arm tightens around you, holding you secure and affectionately close against him. Oh, my good, clever Ella. His eyes shine as he pulls away, cradling your face gently in his hands. I cannot tell you what this means to me. You are the kindest of souls, the brightest star in an everlasting darkness. I'm not sure I'd go that far. Stunned, you try to stem off the flow of compliments, but he only nestles your hands warmly between his own and powers on unabated. Precious few fair mortal would have done for me what you did today. You have my everlasting gratitude. I cannot tell you how long. A shadow falls over his face, and he abruptly lets you go and retreats to the far side of the carriage bench and clears his throat awkwardly. Please forgive me, my behavior is unseemly. This silliness should wear off soon. Silliness? I always briefly become overwhelmed with emotion and sensation after a piece of my heart returns. He glances at you sidelong, almost guiltily, and then quickly looks away. It's simply that it's been so long since I was able to touch someone, feel something. The prince stares at his hands, flexing his fingers as if in amazement. Ah, we have a diamond choice. Don't stop. Don't stop believing. Okay, moving on. Please don't apologize. You reach across the carriage to cover his hands with yours. Kieran startles, his hand tensing. What are you... I like the way it feels when you touch me. His throat works as you caress the back of his hand. Oh. You reach up to trace his jawline and feel the faintest shiver as he exhales. Your touch is unlike anything I've felt in ages. His eyelids slide closed as you caress his face, cradling it with both hands. Kieran, where else would you like me to touch you? His eyes fly open, searing into you with a cold fire. Everywhere. He turns his face into your palm and presses a kiss there. He mumbles desperately against your skin. More. Your heart racing, you lean into him, dizzy with the permission to finally give in to your instincts. Is that what Kieran was like before the curse? Kieran gazes at you dreamily as if your touch is a drug. Quickly before this feeling fades. Touch me more. Kiss his cheek. You ghost your lips across his cheek. You hear his softest exhalation of breath and grow bolder. You kiss down the tense cords of his neck to his throat, and where his pulse hammers like your own. He suddenly gathers you into his arms, pulling you into his lap. Oh. Buries his face in your neck and inhales deeply, his hands holding you tight against him as though afraid you'll disappear. I have held myself back for so long. I must have more of you. Your Highness, are you sure? You're not being yourself. I don't want you to do something you'll regret. He places a finger against your lips, his breathing ragged. No, for a moment, for only this moment, I truly feel alive. Let me know what it is like to feel again while I still can. You feel drunk with his touch, him overwhelming all of your senses. Kieran, Dazed, you suddenly realize his hands are within your clothing, seeking more contact, and a thrill rushes through you as his fingers glide over your bare skin beneath. Open his shirt. Your fingers work feverishly at the fastenings at his throat, wanting your skin against his as much as he does one. Inhale sharply, get your hand slip impatiently inside of his shirt, opening it to reveal more of his sculpted beauty, unmarked by any scars. All of your wounds have healed. I told you as much. As it has stolen from me, the curse has made my body invulnerable. You drop your head as he kisses just behind your ear. None may touch me. None but you. His hands work expertly at the ties of your top until it barely hangs from your shoulders. His fingernails skate down your skin, drawing goosebumps. I've wanted to rip your clothes from you the moment I caught you in the Sun Court revel. What stopped you? I still have a few scraps of my honor left, and you were so innocent. And now? He makes a pained sound in his throat. Well, He brings your forehead against his, your breathings mingle, as he seems to struggle to hold himself back. When the carriage suddenly stops, jolting you two apart, Oh, we're arrived. Kieran seems to shake himself as if coming awake, and gently but firmly removes you from his lap. Kieran, face hot. You straighten your clothing, and he does the same. He doesn't meet your eye. It's getting dark. You should go inside before he opens the carriage door for you. Right. You slide past Kieran, and he exits behind you. Ella, wait. You turn apprehensively and see a odd fire in his eyes dimming. Whatever glimpse of his former self the heart piece gave you, it's fading fast. Yes? He reaches out, almost apologetic, as if to touch your cheek, but then his hand curls into a fist and falls to his side. Thank you for your help today. You're welcome. You rush off to your room and lean heavily against the closed door. One hand pressed against your chest, your heart beats wildly within, the revelations of today still whirling in your head. Does this mean that Kieran's heart beats alongside my own? And what on earth am I going to do about it? How will you help Kieran recover the pieces of his heart when one of them lives inside of you? Alright, this is simple. But before we get to that, please remember to like and share the video. Subscribe to become a member of this community, and feel free to support it in many ways. Sharing it would be incredible, because again, I've done over 3,600 videos, been on this platform quite a long time, and long story short, I continue to want to grow every single day, so it would be greatly appreciated. I can't stress that enough. Tons of variety of content, tons. So, there's something for everybody. Besides that, there's a few links to support the channel down below. There's also the thanks button that you can check out, and then the join button, as well as link in the description. That is a way of basically becoming a member that's monthly subscribed and basically gives financially back. It's greatly appreciated. As many tiers that I've set up, and you can support it for as low cost as I believe $1, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but moving on. If you can't do that, just by you watching and just by you supporting the channel by any means necessary is greatly appreciated, truly. So on to what I'm going to say, because here and there I drop a little piece of my own heart throughout these videos, especially at the end. So here we go. This is very simple. Really, truly it is. So think about this. Whenever you love someone, you give them a piece of your heart, right? Ta-da! I've now solved this book. He's given you, in a way, a piece of his heart. Every time you love somebody, you do that, right? And then when you lose someone, right? You feel like you've broken your heart. You feel like you've lost that piece of your heart that loved them. It'll forever be a void, and you can sit with scotch tape or duct tape and piece your heart back together, but it'll never feel the same. And many people say that you need to heal your own heart, that you need to do those things, and I say hogwash. Because you're continuing to look for someone to fill that void, right? But then you are the only way you're truly gonna heal, and they say time heals all wound. Hogwash on that one too. You're looking for someone who will make you feel whole again. Everybody does, or at least most people acknowledge it or figure it out. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone to love you once again. You're looking for someone to hold your heart in their hands and make it feel like it's whole again and it beats for them. And so this whole piece inside of you, it just means that it beats for you, that he has a piece that's wanting you, things like that. And I mean, sure, they might turn it into some he extracts the piece from you, right? Or maybe by being with you, he completes his heart, or who knows what tie that it'll be, right? One will never know, in terms of storytelling, but that's the way I look at it. So, yeah, let me know if you feel the same or whatnot. But once again, thanks for your support. It means a lot. I love your beautiful faces. and hope to see you around and catch you all in the next video. Peace out.